Hello. In the quest to talk about smaller and smaller and perhaps more trivial things today, pencil sharpeners. You can't, though, have a pencil, a normal conventional pencil, without some form of pencil sharpener. And having to write for any extended period with a blunt pencil is pretty unpleasant. So, if you were judging me from the recommendation of a dipping pen, here you might expect me to say the only usable pencil is one that's been properly sharpened with a penknife. In my experience, this isn't true at all, although this may be because I'm an amateur with a blade. The videos I've watched on this subject, and there have been a few, are mostly about creating a very long exposed lead on a quarter stripped pencil. The sharp sharks I've consulted were sometimes aiming for a drawing tool held distantly, rather than a pencil held an inch or so from the point of contact between lead and page. This kind of narrowed tapering shaft isn't practical for writing, which, if anything, could do with something fatter and for some softer at that contact point. I've only ever used pencil grips to widen the shaft of the pencil when they came with the pencils themselves. This was a multicoloured children's set for drawing, and the grips were ridged and brightly coloured and a bit like having chewing gum between you and the wood of the pencil. Not pleasant. The best pencil sharpener, and I know this will be controversial, and I think it's better than the others by quite some margin, is the Blackwing two-step long point. They're not super expensive, but they're more expensive than a basic plastic one with a single hole. The first step of the two-step in the left hole, I'm going to do sound effects here, gets the pencil roughly into shape. And then the second hole on the right-hand side finishes off the end of the lead, which at this point is kind of sticking out and a bit useless, looking like a kind of bird's beak that's a bit fat. The second hole gets the lead very, very sharp at the end into a very fine point. Yeah, that's looking good. Second to this, second best pencil sharpener, is the Blackwing one-step long point sharpener. This is a more expensive piece of kit and results in a shaped end that curves to a point rather than goes in two straight lines, which are kind of about an inch and a bit long. It doesn't result, the one-step long point sharpener, in a perfect needle-like end, which tends to break first time you press, but a slightly flattened off top that might annoy some people, but which will be in good shape after you've twisted the pencil through the first couple of letters or turned it whilst pressed against a piece of waste paper. Let's have a go with the one-step long point. Doesn't sound as satisfying, and yeah, it's a beautiful kind of curve, kind of bird's beak, just tapering gently in, but it's not as good for me. Both these sharpeners, made by the same company, although they seem to be also made by one called KUM, both these sharpeners enclose their blades and catch all the shavings. It's only when you empty the contents out that you need to hover over a bin. A conventional open pencil sharpener can do a very good job. I've had sharpeners that came out of Christmas crackers or along with a children's drawing kit that for a while were beautifully sharp and didn't ever snap the lead. Generally though, the blades of unexpectedly decent sharpeners, cheap ones, are thin, poor quality and stop working in a short time. One last recommendation I got online from an earlier post of Just About Pencils was for the Mobius and Rupert double-hole brass round pencil sharpener, which I do have one of and I hardly ever use because I like the other one, and it sounds like this. I've got my bin on my desk. That's resulted in a shorter taper and I don't think that it's as good a result. It's slightly flat. Anyway, I hope you've got something out of that. Please like, share and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon.